systems into practice into your business, right? For example, there's another veteran that we know quite well, great guy. His 3 core values are honesty, integrity, and transparency, right? And I think as a veteran, there's a lot of that just comes out of military service. And there's another guy that uses the military, the Army acronym, right? Leadership. I think as a business owner, it's going to be inevitable that you're going to pour your own personal values and your core values into your business. The pitfall you need to avoid as a business owner is as you grow, as you bring on partners, as you bring on employees, is ensuring that there's not a conflict, right? Right. Be very careful about it all gets back to the people you surround yourself with. Be very careful, be very mindful of the people you surround yourself with. Ensure that there's no conflict of your core values versus their core values. And keep it as objective as possible. Sure. And not make it completely subjective. Right. That would be my biggest advice, right? As a business owner, and because you're going to put yourself into the business, you're going to put in your values. But if you want it to be successful, if you want it to grow, you have to make sure it meshes with the people that you're working with.
Sure. And, I would take that even a step further that, the people that we're going to do business with even are going to be people that will align, with what our belief systems are. And
absolutely,
that's why within my practice, I make it no secret that I'm a person of faith, and my practice is built upon that. And so, when I'm working with people, they know that, my business is built around scripture and around my faith. And so those are the people that I'm going to attract. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine, because there's only so many hours in the day, and there's only so much time that I can help people. There's only so many people that I'll be able to help. So I would much rather it be people that align with, with where I am and with where my thoughts and beliefs are, because we're going to have a better business relationship because of that.
Sure. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah. So I'll just tell people, don't shy away from it. In fact, do the opposite. Make sure that there is no mistake what your beliefs are and what your values are. Put it up on a big board right behind your front desk, behind the receptionist desk. So when they walk through the doors of your business, they know exactly where you are, who you are, and what you stand for. Because at that point, there is no mistake. And if they don't agree with it, that's fine. They can find another place. They probably should anyhow, because that relationship at some point is going to fall apart, and then you've ended up just wasting time, and time is money. So
that's I mean, honestly, you really hit the nail on the head with who you do business with. Yeah. It's important to I get it. As a business owner, you want to do business with as many people as possible. Sure. And keep that cash flow going, right? Well, okay, that's all well and good. Can you live with yourself at the end of the day? Right? Can you sleep at night with what you've done in business? I think that's absolutely important, and very, very critical. You want to work with people that align with your values.
Sure.
And if they don't, then you're right. They're not a good fit.
Yeah, and
there's nothing wrong with that.
And it's perfectly okay to say, we're not a good fit, and shake hands, part as friends, and have a very adult, dialogue there. It's perfectly okay, because you actually are going to earn their respect, and they probably are still going to, inevitably they know other people, so they're going to have friends, family, coworkers, what have you, that they know align with what your beliefs are. And so, they're going to give that referral. So you may not do business with that first person, but you're still going to have that compounding effect of their network. And so you will end up, invariably working with, several of the people that they know, even if you're not working with the first one. And that's good too, because, that's multiplying the effect. Even by turning away one piece of business, you can bring in dozens more.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
So here's another fun question that I have here. What's something, now you're a bit younger than me, Natan, so this will be fun. What's something
don't let my looks fool you.
What's something that you wish you had done earlier in life that you did not do?
Oh, regret, right? So what do I regret? Oh man.
Yeah, it doesn't have to necessarily be regret, but maybe something you didn't pull the trigger on that you thought, man, I wish I had done that back then.
That's an interesting question. In terms of opportunities, missed opportunities, or accomplishments, not much. Not much. When I was younger and much more immature, made a lot of mistakes with in personal relationships, right? Very cavalier, uncaring. It's all about me. I don't care about anybody else. I think my one regret is not being as invested in the people I've known, worked with, served with. That would be my one regret, and I'm making up for it now. But and again, with age comes maturity, right?
Sure.
But personal relationships and investing more time into those, and being more caring, compassionate into those personal relationships. That would be my one regret.
Good deal. So now we'll kind of lean on the little bit, slightly more personal direction, with where we're headed here on the next few questions here. But
got it.
When you were transitioning out of the military, there obviously were going to be some different hurdles that you had to overcome, during your transition.
Sure.
And then also getting into business, there's hurdles in transitioning into the business space. What particular hurdles did you encounter, and then how'd you overcome that?
Okay, so when transitioning out, while I was injured, right? Mm-hmm. So I was actually, I got out on a medical retirement. Mm-hmm. So going through that process and during my transition out of the Army, the one thing I leaned very heavily on was not the VA. There's another organization, Disabled American Veterans, I think was the organization, the DAV. Uh-huh. They were extremely helpful.
Yep.
Helping me through the transition. They got me lined up with a doctor, got my medical exam done. Mm-hmm. They helped with my disability package, everything. So through the transition process, and again, I got out in 2004, so it's been a while, right? But they were extremely helpful with that process, and that was a big piece of my transition out of the military. Adjusting to civilian life afterwards was very it was a very, very weird experience. That took some getting used to. I think for me, it was just kind of working through that process, getting used to the changes. There wasn't anything that was so severe and dramatic that had a negative impact per se. But again, when I got out, I was in Hawaii, so that's not such a bad place to get out of the military.
Yeah, that's rough.
But that being said, so from a military perspective, I give a lot of kudos to the DAV. They really helped quite a bit in that transition out. From a business perspective and really starting the business, again, I really encourage business owners, whether you're starting out, whether you've been in business for a while, put your plans into place.
Sure.
Lean on, find a mentor, right? So whether that's, again, with the SBA, whether that's a personal coach, personal mentor, somebody who's very experienced in business, been around for a while, can really give you some good, solid advice.
Yep.
To help you plan. That's something I would absolutely recommend from a business perspective.
Sure. I mean, having a mentor is something you can't even. It's not even quantitatable, the benefit that you're going to get from it, because you want to surround yourself with people that have what you want to have, that have achieved what you want to achieve, and have reached the places that you want to reach. Surround yourself with those people, and then be a mentee to those people, because they can give you knowledge, and chances are the people that have achieved that success, they want to pass that. They want to give that to somebody else. So all you have to do is ask. There's nothing for not asking. So you just ask if you can learn from them, because chances are they'll say yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you're coming upon your answers during that transition, was that kind of obvious to you, or did you sort of stumble through and figure it out like I did?
I think I would say I pretty much stumbled through it. It's funny that, again, getting back to the military and the military mentality, and again, this was years ago. I don't know what the situation's like right now.
Yeah.
I imagine it's probably not much different. You don't really get a whole lot of guidance coming out. You get your checklist. You get, okay, well, you need to be here at this time to get rid of your TA-50. You got to be here at this time to out process from dental, medical, XYZ, right? So you get that, and that's about it in terms of the guidance you get from the military. They don't, I know there's some different programs available, but they don't make it mandatory. At least they didn't used to. Things like what it's like to look for a job, or even for us, what it's like to start a business, what's involved, what's that process look like, what are the resources available, right? I would love to see something like that in place that the military does, or even a private organization working directly with military service members that are transitioning out to help guide them through that process.
Sure. Yeah, I would too. And in fact, behind the scenes, that's something that I am also passionate with, and plugged into different organizations that are trying to do that. Is they do have the TAPS program, but that's just not enough. It's not enough just to go through that transition assistance program, but there's a lot more that's necessary, and digging a lot deeper, and digging into a lot of the things that they're going to be carrying out. How do you take, for example, your military benefits into the civilian world? And what are you going to do when you get out? Is that going to be the best thing for you, or do you want to go ahead and just, cancel that and buy something new when you get out? It's, a lot of those questions that really are going to be very individualized, and, you do need to determine for yourself and for your family. And, they don't do that right now. So, again, something I'm very passionate about, trying to see that happens. So.
That'd be fantastic.
Knock on wood. Well, someday we'll get that in place, and we actually have a better transition process.
Yeah.
When you were starting your businesses, how did you get started? Kind of walk me through, what that looked
like. With an idea, a concept. It was okay. Here's what I could do. Here's the skills that I have. Let's go to market and see what happens. It was the shotgun approach the first time around. The second time around, and I mentioned this to you briefly, after reorganizing, rebranding, reforming with partners, took the time to actually do some planning, to really approach it differently, to look at the different markets, who's being served by what we